Hi guys, it's Laura and today I'm going to be doing my May wrap up and June TBR. So in May I read 5 books and I only had 3 on my TBR, so I'm quite proud of myself. I don't have as many for June. I don't plan on reading as many for June even because exams are starting next week and I'm freaking out about it. But once June is over, I am literally reading a book a day. It's going to happen. I am going to be doing a TBR for my summer, which I don't know when I'll do that, but I'll do that soon. Anyway, so I'm going to get into the video. So the first book that I read this month was a reread, and that was P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. I gave this 4 stars again because I really enjoyed this book like I did the first time I read it. I can't really tell you what happens in it. Basically, the first book is I Tell You I Love You. No, I'm thinking of another one. To All the Boys I've Loved Before. The first one is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. And it's basically a girl called Laura Jean, and she writes letters to the boys that she's loved and they get posted out and she has to basically deal with that. And then this one is I don't know how, kind of like not consequences as such, but because of something that happened because of the letters being sent out, that's what happens in this book. I cannot go into much more detail because it would be a spoiler, but I did enjoy it. However, I can't really say anything with, let's just go on to the second book I read this month and I can carry on explaining it. Okay. The second book that I read this month was Always and Forever Laura Jean, which is the third book in this, like, was duology, now trilogy by Jenny Han. I did not like this at all. I gave this 2.75. I couldn't make up my mind. I didn't want to give it 3 stars. I didn't want to give it 2.5 stars, so I gave it 2.75 stars. Yeah, I didn't like this whatsoever because, okay, first things first, the amount of like Hamilton and Harry Potter references that were in this book were driving me insane. Like, you reference something once or twice, it's okay, but if you constantly do it for no apparent reason, it does get on my nerves a little bit. Anyway, so that's one of the reasons I didn't like it. Next, it's kind of like there was no necessity to it. This is basically about Laura Jean's like going to college kind of thing. She's in her senior year, she's got all this stuff going on and she was doing my head in. Like, seriously, this is, I mean, somebody died and they didn't need to die. It was pointless. And then something else happened and again it was pointless. And it was just like, no, there was just like little bits happening throughout the entirety of this book and it was pointless. And there was quite a lot of cringy moments as well. I mean, this whole the duology was a little bit cringy, but it's not like too cringy, whereas this was just like, oh my god, face palm, that kind of thing. I don't know what that is. Is that basically hit yourself on the forehead thing? It was so cringy and I didn't like it at all. I was really disappointed because it was one of my like most anticipated reads of 2017, but hey ho, I'm just gonna pretend this didn't happen and it was a duology, which I did like. Next book that I read this month was definitely my favourite book of the month, and that was Cress by Marissa Meyer. Am I right? Yeah, Marissa Meyer, which is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles. This is by far my favourite, not by far, but this is definitely my favourite so far in the Lunar Chronicles. It is so good. Oh my god, the fact that it's just introducing more characters, like the old characters are still there, but it's introducing. This is a retelling of Rapunzel, and the little things that you just picked up from the story, I was like, oh my god, yeah, that happens in the original, because I'm only used to Tangled, and then I remembered something that happened in the original story, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. But yes, the character Thorn, Captain Thorn, oh, he's just the best. Like, he's just so funny. You gotta love sarcastic characters. I don't know if it's just me, but they're like my favourite. It's why I love Jason and Will Herondale so much. I just love them. But yeah, I loved Scarlet and Cinder, like coming back, and like Kai. I feel so sorry for Kai. I love all the boys in these as well. And Winter, oh my god, I want to read it now, but it's 800 pages long and I can't. I need to, but I can't, and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to reread this trilogy, or quatrain thingy even. It's because I've only read the first 3 books. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, I'm very, very excited about Winter, and this was definitely worth the wait. It was so good, and I gave this 5 stars. I don't know if I already mentioned that, but I gave this 5 stars and I loved it to bits. Like, go read the Lunar Chronicles if you haven't, because it's so good. Next book that I read this month was My Secret to Tell by Natalie D. Richards. I really enjoyed this book. It was a bit different to all the other contemporaries that I read because it was kind of like a mystery contemporary, and I really enjoyed it. I did guess the person responsible. I was quite proud, but it wasn't like that, damn it, that was so obvious kind of thing. It was like, yes, I'm proud of myself for guessing. So this is about a girl called Emerson May, who is the good girl, and she is basically her best friend's brother, who is basically suspected of hurting his dad, and she's trying to help him, and when she, like, it literally says his smile is a crime, and it's like, oh, he was so fab. His name's Deacon, yeah, Deacon, who is the troublemaker of the town. And she basically decides that she doesn't want to be the good girl anymore. She wants to help her friend. And it's kind of like her trying to not get into trouble whilst helping someone who is in trouble. Like, they're not in, you know what I mean? Like, they are thought to be in trouble, but yeah. Anyway, it was very good, and I gave it 4.5 stars. And I'm definitely going to pick up Natalie Richards' other book 6 months later. That's like, I mean, I think she has more books than that, but that's the book that's on here. So I'm definitely going to pick that up, because that also sounds interesting. But yeah. If you like kind of mystery contemporaries, I think this is one for you. It was very good, and I liked her writing as well. So, last book that I read this month was Frostblood by Ellie Blake. I finally got around to it. How long have I had this book? Actually, I've not had it long. I've had it since February, but I finally got around to it, and I'm very, very glad I did. At first, it was a little bit slow, which is why I only gave this four stars. I gave this 4 stars. But I mean, I think it might have been because I was just on a bit of a slump, I don't know, but I definitely enjoyed it in the end. People say it's very similar to Red Queen, and I don't think it's very similar, but I see traces, like just the fact that it's frost and fire, whereas Red Queen's red and silver. So I get that, and there is like a tiny little element that I'm not going to go into, which I kind of saw a bit of, but other than that, it's pretty much its own story, and I really enjoyed the characters. I mean, one of the it's basically about a girl called Ruby who's a fireblood, and firebloods are kind of like illegal in a world like ruled by frostbloods, and literally you get killed if you're a fireblood. And then her mother ends up being killed by these soldiers, and that's not a spoiler because it's on the back. And she wants revenge basically, and she ends up getting help. And there's this one of the characters called Arcus. At first, he was very annoying because all he did was stomp off and whine. Like, he literally was like, and walked away. And I'm just thinking, you're such a baby. But then in the end, he was kind of like, he kind of grown on you. So yeah, I very much enjoyed it. And I believe the next one, Fireblood, comes out in September, if I'm correct. And I'm very much excited for that. And I will definitely be picking it up. On to my TBR for June. I have left this TBR pretty simple because of exams, and I don't want to be like, because I've been revising like till 10 o'clock at night, so I don't want to be like hard hitting, want to keep my brain concentrated on a, you know, like a book you need to like be like proper concentrated to be able to understand. I don't know if I've said that very well. Oh well. Anyway, so I've chose easy books to read, and the first, I'm just going to do them together. The first 3 books on my TBR are the first 3 Harry Potters, and that is, of course, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I have already read these books, and I loved them, and I'm very excited to actually reread them. I read them back in 2015, and that was when I wasn't even like the biggest bookworm in the world. Obviously I'm not, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so I'm very excited to reread them now, and I'm rereading them because I've already read them, and you know, apparently they're middle grade books. I didn't know that. Apparently they are. Anyway, so I'm very excited, and I figured they'd be pretty easy. Like, they are obviously easy reads. The first 2 anyway, the next one's like that bit, which is why I'm only sticking to the first 3. But I'm very excited, and obviously you all know what the Harry Potter series is about, but if you don't, it's about a boy called Harry who finds out he has powers, and it goes to a wizarding school called Hogwarts. That's pretty the basics. My favourite out of these is definitely this one. They missed so much out of this one from the film. There was a bit at the end of this book which I absolutely loved, and they didn't put it in the film. I remember reading it and I was very annoyed because I loved it, and I was like, why didn't they do that in the film? Anyway, yeah, I'm very excited to start reading these again, and then I'm going to read this one tonight, or start this one tonight even, not read it, start it. The last book that's on my TBR, because I am keeping it short, is Geekerella by Ashley Poston. Why did I think it was Natalie? I don't know. Ashley Poston or Poston? I'm assuming it's Poston. Anyway, this is basically a slight retelling of Cinderella. It is about a girl called Elle, who is a geek, hence the Geekerella. And she finds out that there's going to be like a competition to get, I believe it's, what is it, comic she can basically be invited to something where her favourite comic is. And a teen actor called Darian Freeman is playing, oh, there you go, Excelsior. Yeah, he's going to be there, basically. And guessing it's about those two. And I love Cinderella. It was like my favourite like fairy tale as a kid. Oh my god, is this in 2 points of view? It's in 2 points of view! I didn't know that. Oh my god. Anyway, I think it's a contemporary, so it'll be pretty easy to read. And I'm very excited about it, actually, because, again, I loved Cinderella as a kid, and who doesn't like a good retelling? I mean, I love retellings. I've only ever read one, which is the Lunar Chronicles, but still. Oh, shut up now. Okay. So that's all for my May wrap-up and June TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I will see you again soon with another video. Bye, guys!